Hello, YouTube.
Hello, YouTube.
All right, we get asked this question a lot, especially on our travels, especially when we go out west. We was asked this maybe once or twice. Then out east, no matter where we go. The benefits of living in the Midwest, basically. So,
You guys, I've been asked lots of times.
Yeah.
Where is where we live at?
Yeah. So we're just gonna base everything in our hometown of Clinton, Iowa, because that's where we live. And what's like I said, the benefits of going out in places and that, not just here in town, but our travels. Now everybody knows we don't own a vehicle, except the 2017 when I was using my brother's vehicle till my nephew bought it.
Yes.
And that, and I think he wrecked it. I don't know, but that's another issue for another day. All right. So what's the benefits of living in the Midwest? Well, let's talk about the benefits and the not so benefits. The negatives, basically. There is some negatives. If there's positives, there's always be negatives. Okay. The positives. You don't have to worry about major traffic issues unless a cow is holding up traffic. Either a cow or a pig on a loose holding up traffic. That's probably the only traffic jams we're going to get around here. So,
or deer.
Or deer holding up traffic and that. Or a YouTuber maybe holding up traffic in another way. in another way. May not be our channel.
I can see that happening.
It may not be just our channel. It could be another channel. Something like that. So that's their problem. And that. So, like I said, one of the benefits basically is, the lack of traffic. We still have our own rush hour, which is nothing major. It's just a little backup here and a little backup there. It's usually around when people goes to work and people get off the clock, but all at the same time, and it's just short-lived. It doesn't last like hours and days or whatever it lasts in big cities and that. Some of the, that's just some of the positives. Crime rate, I can't really say too much on this.
You can't.
But to me, it's because it's a small town, it's based on averages of your population of a small town. So crime rate, I'm not an expert in this. I'm just going to say it's going to be about average. About average for this size of town compared to other towns of the same size. So it's going to be somewhere in the middle, somewhere, basically. And that's basically it. There's, like I said, there's a lot of controversies. That was back in the 70s. Someone make a bunch of jokes about Clinton, his murder rates and all that stuff.
That's what
that was just back then. What it is now, I don't know, basically. But crime rate in our region compared to the same towns nearby, it's about average. It feels like average.
Yeah.
The job market in this town is I would say, we need to improve on. Questionable, and we need to improve in this area right now. It's just the attitude of the citizens that I go around town.
Yep.
I've been hearing this for a long time.
Me too.
Angie's been, even I've not lived in this town in the 80s. I was in because my dad used to bring me to town during the summer vacations. I'll do what I want. Then when he gets off work, I go home with him. Basically. So that's what I do.
You guys, I've lived in this town my whole life.
But basically for me, since I've been living here full time since 92, and the most consistent we've been hearing is people want the jobs, but they don't want the factories in their backyards.
I've been hearing that a lot.
That's what I've been hearing a lot. That's why our job market is not the greatest around here. We lost a lot of factories, and we lost a lot of businesses. And the people are going to move where the jobs are at. That's just pure and simple. If Angie and I was maybe 30 years younger, and we had the same job market and we had time to learn a skill, I don't think we would have found a job around here. We would have, like everybody else, after they graduate from high school or college, they kind of go where the jobs are at, basically.
They do.
So that's the job market really needs to improve around here. Honestly, needs to improve around here. But the attitude of the people that I've been hearing around town is always, we want the jobs, but we don't want the factories in our backyard. It's almost like you can't have your cake and eat it too. That's the type of attitude that the people have, and that's just one of the negatives I've been hearing around town. Okay, one of the biggest advantages of living here in Clinton is basically when we do our traveling, basically. I have done this, I calculate everything to a T.
He does.
Everybody knows that. Angie knows it. Just living in Clinton, we're only like, we're about approximately anywhere from 8 to 14 hours from a Canadian border, depending where you go. What direction you go. Depending which direction you go. The closest way to get to the Canadian border from where we live is technically mile-wise is going through Detroit at the Windsor Bridge, at the Ambassador Bridge. That's about a little over 8 hours away. Otherwise, you go up to Minnesota, you're looking at possibly a 13 to 14 hour drive just to get to that border of the Canadian border. But
yes.
On average, between 8 and 14 hours to the Canadian border to the north, and we're about, maybe depending on route you take and what direct route you take, you're about maybe 16 hours to the Gulf of Mexico if you go directly down to, let's say, Alabama and Mississippi. Then you're only like 16 hours away from the Gulf of Mexico, depending on
which way you travel.
Well, depending on what route you take, the shortest route possible, basically. Otherwise, going out west, it's about a little over 2-day drive, you look at 2 solid days and maybe 6 hours. Just to reach the West Coast.
Wow, that's not bad.
Depending on the, like I said, depending on the route you take. It's all depending on the route you take. The shortest route would be taking 70 to 15 into LA, basically. So.
You said it.
Yeah, I said it. Just get down to 70, basically, real quick. Best way for us, just get out Interstate 80, head west to 76,
yes.
Then headed down to Denver to 70, then take 70 across the Great Continental Divide, and take Interstate 15 down to Las Vegas and out towards LA. That's probably the fastest route.
You said it.
That'd be the fastest route to LA. Check Google Maps. I may be right, I may be wrong, but like I said, there is other routes, but they're longer depending where you go. And going out east, we're technically approximately
48 hours?
No. Yeah, about 48 hours to New York City, on the outskirts of New York City. Yep. It all depends how far you travel on your day one. These are based on how far you're willing to travel on day one. It's technically 7.5, 8 hours from here to Sandusky, Ohio. I've done that trip many times.
We've done it.
This does include the loss of hour time change. Which we're going east, you lose an hour, but when you go west, you gain hours. So it gives you more travel time going west than it is going eastward, because you end up losing hours, basically. So you're looking at 40 to 50 hours of travel time, and just to go maybe to New York. You can probably do it in 2 days if it's on the right interstate, depending on traffic and speed, because you're going to go through a lot more towns going east than you are going west. Figure that out. And don't forget the major cities around the Midwest. Of course, the biggest one is Chicago, Illinois. There's St. Louis, there's Milwaukee, there's Minneapolis can squeak in on this one within a 6 hour. This is talking about for us within a 6 to 7 hour drive. So Minneapolis, St. Paul would just squeak in, but definitely St. Louis, Chicago, Milwaukee, Des Moines is Iowa's biggest town. I wouldn't call that a major city. And I would say Indianapolis, Indiana will just qualify, and Cincinnati will be just outside the 6-7 hour range. That's about 8 hours away. So you got that major city out there, but mainly in the Midwest within a 6-7 hour drive safely would be Indianapolis, Indiana, Chicago, St. Louis, Milwaukee, Minneapolis, St. Paul.
Maybe
basically.
Kansas City.
Oh yeah, don't forget Kansas City. Include Kansas City in that list. Thank you, Angie. I knew I forgot something.
You guys, both Kansas Cities.
Well, let's talk about Kansas City, Missouri. That's the biggest one of the two.
Yep.
All right. Okay, people says, okay, what's the dining like in Clinton? Well, mostly fast food. Got a few.
It is.
You do got a couple true Mexican restaurants in town, and you do have a couple Chinese restaurants in town, and there's a true Italian restaurant in town. What they call a true Italian. Actually, there's two of them, Vitali's and Rastrelli's, basically. Then you got a bunch of Chinese restaurants. Then you got a bunch of Mexican restaurants.
We got tons of coffee shops.
Yeah, a ton of coffee shops now. Coffee shops. Oh yeah, we got Starbucks. We got the new shooters, whatever it is, and you got a lot of mom and pop locations in town.
2 Starbucks.
2 Starbucks. I'm not counting the one in Hy-Vee.
Oh.
That's a small. That you have to go inside Hy-Vee to that one. For grocery stores, yeah, there's 3. Actually, there's 4 major ones. There's 4 major ones in town, basically. But for places to eat, if you want Mexican food, I had not tried it myself. Maybe we'll try one of these days. I've always heard La Feria is really good.
La Feria is good. I've had it before.
For Chinese, we always like the
King Buffet.
King Buffet.
King.
And Ying Ching is considered the best one in town. Then for like I said, for not this Italian, basically you got Vitali's and you got Rastrelli's and that. So, and we haven't done neither on this channel. So maybe we will one of these days. Yeah, unfortunately, there's not a whole lot of other ethnic foods. There used to be a good barbecue rib place. Actually, there used to be 2 at one time. Used to be 2 good barbecue Pete. What was it? Pete's?
Yep.
Pete's Barbecue and DJ's was the 2 best places for barbecue ribs. Neither one is in operation anymore, and it's hard to run a good barbecue joint. What about steakhouses? The one we used to go to is under new ownership. We have not tried it since it's under a new ownership and it's under a new name. So we have not tried it. And of course, the dark horse that people always forgets about, and we do forget about ourselves, but it is a very popular steakhouse in town. It's called McKinley Street Tavern.
Excuse me.
What?
It is not called McKinley Street Tavern no more.
It's not? What is it called?
It's a different name.
It's under a different name now?
Yes.
I'm still going to call it McKinley Street Tavern. But it's under a new name according to Angie. We'll figure it out.
No, I was just looking at the photos. I turned that off. That's making me hungry.
Okay. Entertainment wise. What is like entertainment wise? Oh, you got the bowling alley, you got the movie theater, you got the casino, you got Lumber Kings baseball. That's going to start up in June. You got June 1st. Also, you got the Summertime Theater that starts around June, goes until about mid-August.
You guys, we got Finally Fridays and all that.
We got Finally Fridays that is usually once a month
and we got music on
the Avenue. That's every Thursday, starting around late June,
and
all
I think
July.
we're going to be bringing the one back on Main Avenue too.
Yeah, and also you got the one-day 4th of July celebration, which I'd like to see it extended back to 4 days with a carnival, major stage acts and that, what we used to call Riverboat Days. We did a video on this.
Garth Brooks was here before he became
popular, because that's when he broke in, basically. So
and
yeah,
we had the Osmonds.
Yeah, they were already popular at the time, but yep. A lot of big name acts when we used to have Riverboat Days. So, yeah.
I stood in line for a couple of hours just to get Brian White's autograph.
Yeah. Yeah, that was the good old days. But those days are gone, unfortunately.
And you guys, I now got a guitar pick from Trick Pony.
Yep. So festivals, it's you also got Comanche Days. That's pretty good. You got the county fair that's out in DeWitt, which that's pretty awesome in its own right. The best one around here is the Mississippi Valley Fair because it's the biggest county fair outside of your state fair.
And there's Macokota State Fair too.
Well, it's not a state fair. It's a county fair up in Jackson County. Yep. That's Jackson County and that. So that's a halfway decent fair. Basically, you got Whiteside County too. Don't forget our friends over in Whiteside County. Carroll County has a pretty good fair. So a lot of county fairs in the area. So it's worth checking out as your late summer, early fall type entertainment. If you're looking for that kind of entertainment on that, so they always offer something at a local fair and festivals. Always check them out. And of course, the quiet of being in a small town. You don't have to worry about noise traffic, major airports. You don't have to worry about jets flying overhead. Our biggest noise we get every so often, we get a medical helicopter fly overhead once in a while. Why you don't hear it on the videos? Because every time we turn on the camera, that's when they do not fly over. It's almost like...
we do hear trains.
Yeah, we do hear the trains up here, of course. But it seems like every time I turn on this camera, it's almost like a no-fly zone over this camera for some reason. I just cannot get it's very rare to get a medical helicopter. If we do, it's a major miracle we do get one. But otherwise, every time you turn on this camera, either inside the apartment, on the patio, or around town, it seems like it's automatically, for our camera, for some reason, it's a no-fly zone, basically. We'll be lucky enough to get jets. We do get a few jets once in a while.
We do get jets.
But they're so high in the sky and... you really don't call it a flyover because you don't know if they're overhead or not.
And for winter events, we do have the Festival of Trees. Festival of Lights.
Symphony of Lights.
Symphony of Lights and Festival of Trees in Davenport.
Yes, Festival of Trees in Davenport is pretty good too. So
yes, and Quad City does have the Bix.
Yep, Bix running, but we're not talking about Quad Cities. We're talking about mainly our area.
Yeah, but it's not for people to do.
But if they want to leave it in the comments down below, on where they live and name your top festivals and fairs, do it down in the comments down below. Name your major cities nearby, where you like to travel, how far you gotta travel, because here in the Midwest, we're basically, like I said, we're about 8 to 14 hours to the Canadian border. We're about 16 hours, depending which way you go. The shortest route possible to the Gulf of Mexico. We're just about here over 2 days going east. We're technically almost 2.5 days going west to the West Coast. It all depends if you like to travel by car or by train. For us, flying be a lot quicker. But for right now, I want to keep my 2 feet on the ground for right now. Okay, we're going to wrap up this video. Basically, it's just the benefits of living here in the Midwest. The negatives is basically that, of course, negatives is always been, you have to, if you're traveling by car, you're going to have to take the time and effort to drive by car. If you're going to go by bus, forget about it. It's going to take you forever to get there. And bus travel has been always been down mostly on the interstate system. At one time, Greyhound used to travel the U.S. highways, but they ended those routes back in the late 80s, early 90s. They were starting to eliminate those routes.
They did.
To a point that Clinton does not have bus service no more. Well, not bus service, but we're talking about Greyhound bus service. We still have the city bus to get around town. Don't get me wrong on that one.
You guys, in one of us know, we used to have minor league development baseball in town.
Now it's the College Wood Bat League right now. We're still lucky we have some form of baseball in town, but
yeah.
Basically. What about that train station I showed you on the video? I would love to see train service.
I would love Amtrak to come.
I love to see any kind of train service back in our area. Just run a special 4 or 5 trains a day, just from Central Iowa through to Chicago and back. You can run 4 routes going you can run 4 routes during the day, 4 routes back home. It just includes other routes, basically. I would love to see some kind of train service back in town. We have a train station for it that's just sitting there vacant and rotting away. And won't be long, we could lose that train station to a wrecking ball, which I don't like to see.
I don't either.
But unfortunately, it's up to the Union Pacific. But Union Pacific has to deal with Amtrak when it gets from Denver on west, basically. And they have to deal with Amtrak down in Tucson on that train route, too. Because they have the Union Pacific runs on that tracks, too, down in Tucson.
They do?
Oh, yeah, that's Union Pacific. The Tucson camera, remember the Tucson camera?
Yeah.
On Virtual Rail? That's owned by Union Pacific.
Really?
Yeah, it's owned by Union Pacific. So, I don't know. Maybe we'll see. Right now, we have a president that likes to expand passenger rail, but as far as you know, he has proposed nothing over it yet. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Zero. Nada. So, does he really... Zilch. Does he really back up what he says about his increasing passenger service across the United States? Answer is, like Angie said,
no.
Loud no. Okay, that is it. We ended it with a sour note of politics of passenger service, but it is what it is. I think it would have been a better. I think, to tell you the truth, it would benefit Clinton more if they offered train service to and from Chicago. If you added St. Louis, Iowa City, Davenport will have to have a different route in a way. But yeah, I think Iowa City and Cedar Rapids, Ames would have been, Des Moines would have been good connections, basically. So, in a way. Right now, like I said, benefits of living in a quiet community. Almost everything that I've done in town is almost literally walking distance. We do have a city bus service, so that's a good benefit to have, and that. And we do have a nice casino, not a major one, but a nice small casino. So if you have an urge to gamble, instead of going out to Vegas or Atlantic City, just head to your local casino and
Atlantic City's in New Jersey.
I know it's in New Jersey and that, but maybe we'll head to Vegas one of these days again.
I would love to go.
Okay, but it's only a 2-day drive too from here too. 2 solid days of driving. I think we could pull it off if we concentrate on it. Right now, like I said, the benefits, there are some negatives around town, and of course, you've probably seen them on video already. A lot of positives in a way. There's still, in a way, there's still plenty to do. Still some city parks. There's that windmill I talked about last night. There's Heritage Canyon. There's also a few others. We got the Arboretum I forgot to mention here in town. Arboretum.
You guys, and they do have concerts there too.
Yeah, so check out all the events and that. So, yeah, it's a quiet community. It's better than I spent a week in Chicago. Angie and I, we spent 1 week in Chicago. After 1 week of hustle and bustle, we couldn't wait to get out of Chicago, basically. According to our Facebook friends, when they come over here from Chicago over here, they said they never been so bored in their lives. Basically, we're just limited to what we can do, but they just couldn't wait to get home because they're so used to doing their stuff back in a bigger city. Whereas for us, it's just the opposite. We just want to get back to a small town where everybody knows each other. Right now, we know about this. It's time to end this video. It's gone way too long on this one. But yeah, I just thought I would just give you the benefits of living in a small town like Clinton, Iowa. There are some negatives. Like I said, positives, negatives, it will balance out in a way. But it's how you live your life in the area. So then leave it down in the comments down below. The benefits of living in your area. Bigger cities, small towns, whatever. So I hope this will help each other out. Maybe it'll help our subscribers to...
I wish we had them all.
Yeah, offer something in the comment section what your area offers. If you live over up in Canada or in the UK, don't matter where you live. Leave it down in the comments. Your benefits, negatives, whatever. Leave it down in the comments down below. Right now, like I said, we got to wrap up this video.
Alright, please like, share, subscribe. Do not forget to hit that subscribe button, notification bell. Guys, I will see you later. Bye.
Bye.